Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon, and today we're going to be talking about spam ganking, and I think one of the best champions to showcase that is Pantheon, the enemy jungler. A lot of Pantheon players will constantly try to gank, and we're kind of going to show you, even in a best case scenario where a lot of his ganks work out, how he can still fall behind and how the game can still be very difficult for this type of champion. So basically the gist of this video, we're going to be talking a lot about how people don't farm efficiently enough, and we're going to talk a lot around the math of different plays, and again, risk reward. These are kind of the main things to keep in mind. So initially this game I'm pathing towards Annie because they have an Annie top lane for some reason. Obviously that's very weird, but pathing towards any ranged top laner is usually a good idea, whether it's you having a ranged top laner on your team or the ranged top laner being on the enemy team, because usually if your ranged top laner on your team has no resources, he's going to struggle, but he will usually have an early lane lead for the most part. Annie might be an exception, like Annie will lose to Garen even early, but most of the time that would be the case. And obviously ranged top laners are very easy to gank if they're the enemy, so for this reason we want to path towards them. We want to see if we can get some type of play done or something like that. But you're going to see this game, you know, again, Pantheon is going to look for really early ganks, and he's going to very frequently find a lot of success. So I think here, this game was, 24 hours ago, and my memory is that of a goldfish, so you'll have to forgive me for not remembering exactly what happens initially, but I believe Pantheon's about to gank top side in a moment. They have Alistar and Nyla, who are very weak early game, and yet he is pathing towards them. He doesn't have the best lanes to path towards this game since he has the Annie top, but yeah, we see here, he ganks at 1 minute 23 seconds, and if we look at him, despite it being 1 minute 23 seconds, he's only level 3 and has only red buff, which makes me know that he has not done his blue side, and so he either 3 camped by doing only red side, or did 1 blue side camp and then 3 red side camps. I believe the XP he would have had means that he would have only done 3, but just because he, again, did very, very slow clear and was pretty much just looking for spam gank. So already if we look at the math of it, I think he got a kill out of that, right? I don't remember, did he die? I think, he died. He got a kill out of it. So from that play, they obviously went even in gold, 1 kill to 1 kill. Meanwhile, what do I get? I get 150 gold. We'll actually see how much we get exactly. We get 103 plus 31, so we get 134 gold, and then we're able to obviously, stop him from coming. And since he's down a level, I'm able to get him super low and completely pressure him off. So I'm able to get a camp that's 134 gold to his blue buff. I'm able to get another, let's say, 120 gold from this Gromp, and I deny him that much as well because he's now not getting that. So not only do I get that gold, but I deny it, which means a 500 gold play basically for me, and then I'm able to gank the Annie another 250. So that's basically a 750 gold swing in my direction because of his, lack of efficiency there. Now, obviously, he got a kill, but one of his kill, that 300 gold, also got given back because someone else killed him, which means despite the fact that he's only down 300 gold, he also gave 300 gold to someone else. So it's again net 600 in terms of the overall result for us. If we look at everything right now, and again, it gave me a really easy gank opportunity, and I'm ahead on XP. So that's only gold, but my XP is also much higher than his because he's again spam ganking. So what does he do now? He goes and he immediately does he immediately ganks bot side. Why is this also a bad gank by him? Because he's at 2 minutes and 56 seconds. He started on his red side, which means his red side will start respawning around 220, 230. So he's already been 30 seconds without any of these red side camps, which are all pretty much spawned at this point. Every second that you leave one of your camps up is another 1 or 2 gold being lost, because then the next camp's not respawning. And so he's losing out just from those 30 seconds already on 90 to 100 guaranteed gold. Not to mention the fact that, again, it's risky to gank the bot lane. He's ganking a losing lane in the Annie. And again, he has those camps on top side. So he's very inefficient with his gameplay. Down XP. Again, not really getting a big gold lead for his team or anything, and leaving himself susceptible to invades. So again, I can get easy invade, like in this situation as we saw here. Now in this case, he does end up ulting. I was barely not able to cancel him, unfortunately, and then he does get another kill. I think he gets 2 kills there. So as we can see, all of his plays are working out perfectly. Every gank, he went top side, got a kill, went bot side, got a kill, went top side, got 2 kills. All of those things are happening, and he is still not in a strong gold spot for his team, right? Like, he has a decent amount of gold just because every kill has worked out perfectly, but he's still down XP to me, once again, constantly forcing plays without properly recalling, spending his gold and whatnot, and just putting himself in a very susceptible position. And again, he's very reliant on the fact that his ganks all work out. Whereas for me, even if I was 0-0, I would be in a position where I could still win. And then if I do get a couple kills, as we saw here, then I'm in a very good position. So I'm just in a lot less riskier of a position because of the fact that I'm still farming while keeping my gold up. And I'm still ganking lanes. Like, I ganked my Annie, I ganked mid lane, right? Like, I'm still able to get kills and ganks off. It's not like I have 0 gank opportunities. I'm just not over forcing them for no reason. And again, because of that, we're able to have quite a nice early game, even with all of his plays working out. And again, if anything didn't work for him, he's screwed. Luckily for him, again, everywhere he goes, he is getting kills, because Pantheon is a champion that can get a lot of kills. But if any of these plays work out, he dies, whatever, he's screwed. And even if it works out somewhat well for him, you can see I'm still able to get the invades, because again, we saw him topside. We know that he's being super inefficient, so we're able to just continually invade. Every invade where I get these 2 camps, I get a kill's worth of gold on myself, and I deny a kill's worth of gold on him, because again, roughly 150 gold per camp means that I'm denying about 300 gold from him and getting 300 myself. So again, 600 gold swing, that's 2 kills worth of, you know, value there. And then I also put myself in a position to easily pick people on the side lane here, as we can see. I will force out the Pantheon ult. Now, unfortunately, I dashed the wrong way. I should have just dashed out. I didn't think about Ahri because I was being an idiot. So I do die here. That's just purely a mistake by me. I could have easily gotten out. That was a funny Ahri charm as well. But either way, we still get the invade off. We still get good plays. And again, he has 3 more kills than me, and he's down 300 gold to me. And I have all my blue side camps up. So we can see once again, the gold is not in his favor. Despite all of that, I'm still able to help out my laners. I was able to help my laners get turrets as well in the mid, for example. And yeah, just overall kind of, again, showing why this Pantheon strategy is not super effective, despite, again, his plays working out for the most part, mostly due to just variance. Of course, sometimes, and this is really the reason that people think these strategies work, sometimes you make the wrong choice and you get rewarded for it. Sometimes you make the inefficient, risky play, and then you get a triple kill and you win the game off it. But the problem is this is not consistently going to work. Whatever, I didn't check this player's rank, but I highly doubt that he's as high of a win rate or rank as me. And this is just, again, a very common thing that we'll see with like lower to mid tier players, is they will just constantly kind of force these ganks, force these fights, and that leads to them having a 50% win rate, maybe slightly higher, slightly lower. Again, he forces a random fight on me. Because of that, I'm able to pretty easily chase him down, and because I'm up a level, it's pretty good for me overall. Now, of course, Ahri does show up, and we didn't expect Ahri to be there because the enemy are on Herald. So because they were on Herald, Ahri being there is quite an odd thing. But regardless, the fact that he's, again, very inefficient means I can still get value from an invade, even though he's able to get the Herald off of that, you know, positive play for him. So I'm able to always get some type of value just because of how inefficient he is. As we can see, then we're able to get another pick on side lane. So we got 300 gold. We got the Krugs invade, which is, again, a 150 roughly gold. 450 gold for me, deny him 150 from the Krugs. Even though we lose Herald, Herald doesn't even get nearly that much gold from dropping. It only gets 250, and then if it takes a turret, it would get, you know, closer to that value. So once again, he's just constantly taking risky plays that could work out, could not work out, and we see because of that, again, I'm still just as strong as him, and I'm only 4-1, while he's, I think, 7-2-3 or something along those lines right now. And that's what we're kind of constantly concerned with now, is I just want to farm my camps up, make sure I get all these camps, and then I can take a recall, spend my gold, and look to fight afterwards. My champion also does scale better than Pantheon, and generally Vi is a good pick into Pantheon, because Vi is very tanky. Vi ultimate can also make her go around him, so if he shields in front of you and then you ult him, you end up behind him, and then his shield doesn't block your damage. There's also that. So it's definitely a really good matchup for my champion as a whole, and he feels kind of the need to overforce fights constantly, I think, because of that as well. But that is a very common thing with Pantheon players, Warwick players, these types of champions. And again, here, all we're doing is we're just valuing the gold. We're getting a free tier 2 turret, helping our teammates push, not overly concerned with the fight. And then, of course, if the Annie wants to die for free, we'll let her die. You know, we'll give her what she wants. Meanwhile, Pantheon, again, he's concerned with the tier 1 turret. This is probably the best decision he's made all game, is just getting that free gold. Like, frankly, that is, and I missed my ability, unfortunately, so I don't get as much as I could have out of that. But honestly, Pantheon's best choice he's made this entire game was that going for that bottom lane turret, at least getting some level of gold, getting something out of it. And unfortunately, we barely don't pick him there. But again, his conclusion, a lot of people's conclusion, because his teammates died there, would be, oh, well, that means I need to gank more. I need to go fight more because my teammates died when I didn't fight. People try to control every aspect of the game when that's just not really realistic. You can't do that, right? Sometimes your teammates will int, sometimes they will die, and a lot of junglers have the mistake of trying to overcompensate for their laner's mistakes. In this game, my teammates died a bunch to ganks that were rather predictable in terms of, you know, if we were jungle tracking properly, right? And they were kind of constantly pushing forward and constantly in positions where they could get ganked. And despite that, I'm still able to be in a position to carry this game, again, because of that consistency. So having that additional consistency just leads to more carrying in solo queue, whereas, again, very 50-50 the way that the Pantheon plays. It does work out sometimes, but if you just play efficiently, you're going to beat bad players regardless, and you're only really going to ever be able to kill bad players with this type of strategy. And so once again, you just see me constantly picking people on side lane and looking for picks. I don't think I get this one. I think I realize Ahri might be coming, so I just get the wave instead. But instead of constantly forcing these fights, you know, around the Pantheon when he is strong and when his teammates were relatively strong, I'm just farming on my side of the map and then looking for the picks when I can find them, spending my gold, and I have the most gold in the game. At this point, I'm insanely strong. I can pretty much fight anyone. I'm super, super tanky. And yeah, I would have to make a mistake, or our teammate would have to make a lot of mistakes in order for us to actually die. So once again here, Pantheon does make a good play in this situation to go get a pick. However, Annie does make the mistake. So like his teammates made mistakes, obviously, right? I mean, we're playing ranked. People make mistakes all the time. But that was a good play by him to get the pick right there. Definitely a very valuable play right before the objective. But we can see here, I'm super strong in these fights. I'm able to kind of pop off just because of how fed I am at this point due to farming. Meanwhile, Pantheon, again, he's not weak, but he's down 2 levels to me, which is, again, almost 1,000, I think over 1,000 gold worth of stats from being down 2 levels. And that's due to farming, not due to kills. He has more kills than me. I'm just farming camps, right? And then again, I'm up gold, right? I think I'm 13k. I didn't see what he was. I kind of clicked the scoreboard really fast, so it's hard to always see, but I do know I'm definitely ahead of him in gold overall. And at some point, we get to the point where I'm 16k gold and he's 12k gold, is I believe the numbers. So creating those really big gold leads. And again, you see I have 10 kills and 2 assists, and I've been farming permanently. You can get a lot of kills and assists without always farming. Yeah, he's 11k gold right now, so we're ahead over 2k. But you can get all these kills without farming permanently. You don't just have to farm and farm and farm, or without, you know, fighting permanently, I meant. And then again here, I'm so strong that I don't mind grabbing a little camp before I come, and then boom, I get that shutdown on him. So I get 700 gold shutdown on him, I get 1,000 gold from someone else, and we're just able to completely pop out from this fight. Not quite able to get the pentakill. Spoiler alert, unfortunately. But we get the quadra kill, insanely strong at this point, and this is the point where now it's, you know, pretty hard for them to deal with me with how fed I am. And of course, in this situation, we also saw a lot of plays work out for me, right? I went to a lot of places, I got kills. I have examples on my YouTube channel, plenty of examples, where I don't, and here we're trying to, I realized that I kind of wanted to like bait him and see if he ults because they don't have vision. I have plenty of examples on my YouTube, my stream, whatever, where I'm efficient, I farm well, and I don't get a lot of kills, and my kills don't work out, and yet I'm still able to carry games. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I'm aware that this is a game where I get a bunch of kills. You're not going to get 14 kills every game no matter how well you play. I'm not saying that you will, but this is just a good example of a player farming coming up permanently. And then the Pantheon at this point is just kind of being silly. He's going in for no reason. He has no vision. He's down a bunch of gold to me at this point, so he's a lot weaker than me. And of course, this champion does scale worse as well. And the issue people have when they play these not scaling champions like Pantheon, for example, like you know, Warwick to a lesser extent. Warwick scales decently well, but not, you know, compared to some. They really think that they have to win in the first 10 minutes or they can't win. But the reality is you can use the first 10 minutes to have more gold than your opponent so that you become a scaling champion. For example, Talon jungle, not a scaling champion. But if I have 18k gold on Talon at minute 17, I'm suddenly a scaling champion because nobody's going to be that high in gold apart from me. So using your early game advantage to get a lot of gold on yourself is a different way to still be useful in the early game. Not every early game has to be you getting 14 kills in order to, you know, carry the game or anything like that. And at this point, you can see I am just in 5 people. Honestly, I should have died, but they got scared of me and let me live. But you can see how tanky I am. Again, because of the farming, it's really hard for them to kill me. If they did kill me there, it would have taken them about 10 seconds of 5 people hitting me for them to kill me just because of how fed we are. And at this point, we have 15 kills. We have hard carried this game pretty dang well. And I do think I just end up realizing that we could have pushed side lanes a bit better with our barons and whatnot. I went a bit too hard on mid kind of grouping. Got sucked into some of the fighting. But because of the fact that we were ahead a lot, all of this fighting wasn't as bad. Whereas again, Pantheon doing all this fighting from minute 1 allows me to kind of get a gold lead and then be able to fight when I'm actually stronger, whereas he's again just fighting kind of permanently without as much thought behind it. That type of thing definitely is not as good. And yeah, again, leads to me being full build while he's about 3.5 items, I think. So obviously very hard at this point for him to really do anything against me. We end up just going grouping with our team, ulting the Alistar, legendary at this point. And then I think we try hitting the Nexus, trying to see if we can end. I don't remember if we end or not. I think it gets pretty close at the end. But I try. Yeah, no. Yeah, people just kind of die. That happens sometimes. People aren't very good around the Nexus, but then I see minions, so I'm like, hey, let me just try to auto attack it. Really, really close here. It's getting super low. I'm trying to use my auto resets. I use my shield. 83, 38, 9, and we barely get it. So nearly didn't get it on 9 HP. I'm pretty sure we still would have won that game, even if I died there. But luckily, we don't have to find out whether or not that was the case. Again, at this point, you can see, I think we had, what, better than 95.4% of Vise. I'm around 45 mark Grandmaster now at this point on jungle once the stream was over, because this was more in the middle of the stream. And yeah, we can see 16, 1, 3 MVP. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it was useful to you in some way, shape, or form, and I'll see you in the next one.